Child, you've been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet sense that something is not right. Not loud, not obvious, but present. In the way your days feel slightly off. In the way your thoughts don't settle the way they used to. In the way something feels unfinished, even when everything looks fine on the outside. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it would pass, but it didn't. Because this feeling is not random, and the reason behind it is something you have been overlooking for a long time. Stay here, because what I'm about to show you is what you've been missing all along.
My child, this feeling you have, it is not confusion. It is awareness, but not the kind you fully understand yet. Because what you are sensing is something beneath the surface, not in your surroundings, but within your direction. You have been moving. You have been doing what you think is right. But deep down, something does not feel aligned, and you keep asking yourself why. You look at your situation. You look at your progress. You look at everything around you, trying to find the reason. But the answer is not where you've been looking, my child. This is why it feels strange, because the cause is not obvious. It is subtle, quiet, easy to overlook, but powerful enough to affect everything you feel. And until you see it clearly, that feeling will not leave you. My child, you have been trying to fix the feeling without understanding what created it. You change small things. You adjust your routine. You try to think differently, but the feeling remains. Because it is not coming from what you are doing. It is coming from what you are ignoring. There is something you have seen before, something you noticed, but chose not to give your full attention to. Not because you didn't care, but because it felt small, or uncomfortable, or easy to deal with later, and so you moved past it. You kept going. You told yourself everything was fine. But what you passed over did not disappear. It stayed, quietly. And now, it is showing up as this feeling you cannot explain. My child, this is why it keeps returning. Because it was never resolved, only postponed. My child, this is where you must look more closely. Not at everything around you, but at that one thing you keep overlooking. You already know what it is. You have felt it more than once. That moment when everything becomes clear, just for a second. And then, you move away from it. You distract yourself. You shift your focus. You tell yourself it's not that important. But it is, my child. That moment you keep stepping away from is the same place where your clarity is waiting. It is the place where things begin to make sense. But every time you turn from it, you return to confusion. You return to that feeling of something being off. Not because life is unclear, but because you are avoiding what would make it clear. And the longer you do that, the stronger that feeling becomes. Not to trouble you, but to get your attention. My child, this is the moment where you stop searching everywhere else. Because the answer is not hidden. It has been in front of you the whole time. You just haven't stayed with it long enough to fully see it. Every time it appeared, you looked for something bigger, something clearer, something easier to understand. But the truth does not always come that way. Sometimes, it comes quietly, in a simple realization, in a feeling you cannot ignore, in a moment that asks you to pause and look deeper. My child, this is that moment, not another sign, not another guess, but the place where everything becomes clear, if you allow yourself to stay with it. Because what you've been missing is not hidden from you. It is something you have been stepping past, again and again. And now, you are being brought back to it. one more time, my child. The reason everything has felt slightly off is because you have been out of alignment with what you already know. Not completely, but just enough to feel it. You have been moving forward while quietly stepping around something important. And even though everything looks fine on the outside, inside you feel the difference, because your direction and your awareness have not been fully aligned. My child, this is why nothing feels settled, not because something is wrong with your life, but because something within it has been left unfinished, something that needed your attention, something that asked you to stop and take it seriously. But you kept going. You kept telling yourself it could wait. And now, that unfinished moment is what you're feeling. That is what has been creating this quiet discomfort. Not to confuse you, but to guide you back to what matters. My child, the moment you stop avoiding it, everything begins to make sense. Not all at once, but clearly enough for you to feel the shift. Because now, you are no longer moving around the truth. You are facing it, and that changes how everything connects. What once felt confusing begins to fall into place. What once felt unsettled begins to calm. Not because your life suddenly changed, but because you are now aligned with what you already knew. My child, this is what you've been searching for, not more answers, not more signs, but the willingness to stay with what was already shown to you. And as you do that, you will begin to notice something. The feeling that once followed you starts to fade, because its purpose was never to stay. Its purpose was to lead you here, to this moment, where you finally see it clearly. My child, as you remain in this place, you will begin to feel a quiet peace returning, not all at once, but steadily, because you are no longer divided inside. You are no longer moving in one direction while ignoring what you feel in another. You are aligned, and that alignment brings clarity. You stop questioning everything the same way. You stop searching for answers that are no longer needed, because now, you understand what was missing, and more importantly, you are no longer stepping away from it. My child, this is why things begin to settle, not because everything around you becomes perfect, but because you are no longer working against yourself. You are moving with what you already know, and from this place, your path becomes clear, your thoughts become calmer, your steps become more certain, because now you are no longer ignoring what matters. My child, now that you see this clearly, do not go back to overlooking it again. Do not return to the same pattern. Do not tell yourself it can wait, because you already know what happens when it does. That quiet feeling returns. That sense of something being off comes back. Not to confuse you, but to remind you. And now, you don't need that reminder anymore, because you understand. You see what was missing. You see what needed your attention. And most importantly, you are no longer turning away from it. My child, this is where things begin to change. Not in some distant moment, but in the way you choose to move from here. Because now, you are not searching blindly. You are moving with clarity. And that is what brings everything into place. End.